32% of students have hit the wall at Coastal Carolina University. Find out what it's all about coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're in the Wheelwright Auditorium on the campus of Coastal Carolina University. We're focused on the Wall College of Business Administration, and we're visiting with its dean, Dr. Henry Lowenstein. Good morning,
Good morning
Dr.
to you.
Lowenstein. Thanks for coming in. We had Dr. Stamey with us yesterday. I think Dr. Eddie Dyer is with us later this week. A great way to break the week up, having you in here. And what about this Wheelwright Auditorium? This place is fantastic.
It's very beautiful, as is the entire campus. It's very pretty, well maintained in architecture.
Absolutely. Is it anything like the university you arrived here?
Oh, no. In California, you get a stucco box.
Ooh.
And whether it's a big university, small university, it's a stucco box. And so it's nice to be back in the South and in the East Coast, where there's architecture and there's a theme and beauty of a campus, and that's a great ambiance for our students who come to Coastal.
Absolutely. You shared even much earlier this morning that you've got ties to this area.
Yes, my family originally came to America through the port of Wilmington, North Carolina, and settled in North Carolina and Virginia, and so this is a coming home to me.
Absolutely. That's tremendous. Do you still have family in the Carolinas or in Virginia?
I have some family in Charlotte, but most of my family's in Virginia.
Great, good. Well, that it is a great homecoming then. And, of course, the Wall College of Business Administration, a lot going on now.
Well, we have a lot going on. It's the largest college on campus. About 32% of the students at Coastal Carolina are in the business school or take courses with us. We're growing very quickly, about 8 to 10% a year.
Really?
And that's a lot because of the tremendous quality faculty that we have, the programs, the location of Coastal Carolina.
Right.
All these things are coming together to be very popular. One of the things with the Wall College is we have a lot of programs that you would normally see at much larger business colleges, at much larger universities, but you have it here with the closeness between professors and the students, and the interaction and the beauty of the Grand Strand.
Yes. What are some of the big, of course, you've got a lot going on, and obviously as we think through some of the things over the next few years, I know you highlighted just a little bit earlier this morning the real push into the career of sports.
Well, that's one of the areas we're looking at, working with my colleagues at the Spinoni College of Education, in that between the Wall College and the College of Education, there are a number of programs that are all around the theme of sports.
Right.
Well, the viewers know sports is one of the largest industries in the United States. Collectively, it's about $300 billion. Or another way to put it, it's more than the auto industry. And that encompasses everything from golf courses to what people play on football and professional sports and stadiums and recreation and boating, and the whole lot of equipment, manufacturing, golf clubs. So it's a very big industry throughout all of the United States. And one of the advantages, one of the strategic advantages we have here in the Wall College and in the school and in Coastal, is because of our location at Myrtle Beach area in the Grand Strand. This is a vacation spot. It is certainly one of the largest areas in the United States in terms of golf. And we have, within the Wall College, one of 19 accredited PGM professional golf management programs. So this all fits together, both with the direction of the university, the direction of the college itself, and a major aspect in the College of Education, as well as our athletic program. And to get students to think about, if you want a career in a sports-related business or industry or organization, Coastal's an area you should think about, whether it's in the education school, the business school, and you will come out with a degree that prepares you for a career in various aspects of this very broad industry.
That's tremendous. You know, when you think about students and their thoughts, what's going on in their mind as they're thinking about their own future, think about yourself. Have you contemplated actually ever achieving a tremendous position like this, the dean of an amazing institution, the Wall College of Business Administration?
No, there was no career plan. Actually, in my case, I was in the one of my career roles was as an officer of a financial services company, very large company out of Chicago, and then in a regional bank, and then we ended up with a banking financial crisis in the late 1980s.
Right.
Well, we have another one now, but I had a PhD, and I had the ability to go back into academia, and I stayed there. I liked it. I liked what we were doing with students, and the universities liked the way I did administration and marketing, and it's been a good career. I've enjoyed it.
You arrived here from the University of California at Bakersfield. Before that, I think you
California State University, Bakersfield.
Oh, forgive me. I'm sorry. California State University, Bakersfield. There is a
difference.
For folks in the Carolinas, it's just something out there in California.
It's one of those California schools.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Forgive me, except for Pepperdine, who we like to think of other things about. But I think you've been at West Virginia University as well.
Yes.
Prior to, and you spent a good while there in
yes,
West
I did. Heading their business division at their regional campus. And it's been a great opportunity. One of the aspects that I like about regional campuses, it certainly was one of the draws here to Coastal, is the change in higher education for business that's going global. Coastal Carolina University Wall College is one of the members of AACSB International. We are an accredited business school of AACSB International. For a minute, let me tell you what that means, because it's very difficult. There are 10,000 business schools in the world, according to AACSB. Of the 10,000, there are only 600 that are accredited. They have very rigid accreditation standards. We just had a recent site visit that went very well, and we're waiting for those results. Of the 600, there are approximately 70 of those are outside the United States. And so we're one of 10%, less than 10% of the business schools in the world are accredited, and that we keep those quality standards up, the continuous improvement that they expect. We have an Honor Society chapter called Beta Gamma Sigma, which is only available to AACSB chapter accredited schools. There are only 300 of those. We have achieved premier status in those chapters, which is only done by about 70 out of 300 schools. So even though we are still a relatively young institution, we are a relatively small institution relative to some of the larger names in higher education, we have achieved the same quality standards. We're held to the same standards as some of the larger name brand universities, whether it's a University of North Carolina or South Carolina, that are also AACSB accredited. We all follow the same standards.
What would be one of the common reasons the other, let's say, 9,400 schools, other 9,400 MBA programs would not be accredited?
Well, probably because the biggest push with AACSB is having very qualified faculty, with PhDs who are actively involved in scholarship and working with businesses in their field. And that really is one of the big pushes. Not only do we have to be good in the classroom, but our faculty have to be actively engaged in research, as they are here on projects that help the Grand Strand, that help the discipline. We're held to accountability on that. And so a student who comes to our program and taking a course in finance will find themselves in a classroom with a professor of finance who has a PhD from a top-flight institution, with a nice size class, not a large class that they can interact with. And this professor is actively engaged in the field, may even have some leadership in the field.
That's tremendous.
One of the things that we're very pleased with is that in AACSB there are about 4 major accrediting boards that deal with various institutions. So about 60 deans in the world that serve on that board, and Coastal Carolina's dean's on one of those boards.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. Well, that's a great reference there for viewers who have recognize the significance of Coastal's position even on the global landscape.
Yes, it is. And with that aspect, with the globalization that AACSB is doing, we have a tremendous number of international programs, international relationships that students coming to the Wall College can undertake. We have a Maymester which goes overseas, this coming Maymester program. There are 2 courses, one at a freshman level, which will be new, and the others at the senior level that will go to Paris and to Germany and to Prague, Czech Republic. We are one of the 24 or so business schools in the International Consortium of Double Degree Programs, where a student can go at Coastal, can go to the Wall College for 2 years, go to this international university for 2 years, and get a degree from both. And those are universities that are in France and in Germany and
right.
Latvia and the Netherlands and a whole bunch of other countries in Europe. We have just developed a relationship in the resort tourism area with 2 universities in China, and that
right.
is in process of being finalized. So, and we also have some relationship, exchange relationship with the university in Ecuador. So these are important in the Carolinas
sure.
because this is where the world is. In California, for example, they're losing population, and there hasn't been a manufacturing plant built in a long time, major manufacturing plant built in California. In South Carolina, the investment is coming in, but it's coming in from the international. It's the right. BMWs and Rolls-Royces and Michelins and
Absolutely.
Rhone-Poulenc.
Sure.
And all of these they're coming from around the world, and they expect us to have a workforce that understands foreign exchange, foreign culture, the foreign markets, and that's what we do within the business degree program that we have at Coastal.
That's fantastic. For our viewers in our area, let's talk about the economic impact of the Wall College just here in the, let's say, the Myrtle Beach area, rather than our viewers in the PD and southeastern North Carolina, just the local impact. You've highlighted the global impact there. What about here on the local side?
Well, we have about 2,000 students at the Wall College. Many of them do internships. Many of them stay local.
Right.
Most people who go to any of the major resort tourism spots here in Myrtle Beach area are probably dealing with a Wall College graduate from either our resort tourism program or from just our business program. We have in accounting, there's a shortage of accountants nationwide.
Is that right?
Yes, so we have a lot of regional firms that hire the accounting graduates. Our finance graduates are in the banks. And of course, with the golf management program and all the golf courses in Myrtle Beach,
right.
the chances are you have a PGM graduate in one of those golf courses.
Absolutely.
As well as our own Quail Creek, which is a golf course under the Wall College.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just last week we were talking about a couple of months ago we had John Locks with us, the director of the new MBA program. That's kicking off strong.
New MBA program is very exciting because this again raises the university and the Wall College up to a higher level. Also requires a higher level of expectation for us on our accreditation, which we're doing quite nicely, I'm happy to say. And the MBA gives an additional element to helping in this area because we have, again, a number of businesses in the Grand Strand growing area in which the desire is to get additional education and develop managers, particularly MBAs. They're site-bound, and now they have a accredited MBA program that they can go to locally, as well as we're attracting people from elsewhere. This program started last year with roughly 30 or so people, and is now almost doubled in the second year. So we're very pleased with that. We'll continue to make enhancements to the MBA, and in fact, one of our goals down the line, we talked about the sports university of choice for sports careers, is to actually build a concentration within the MBA, a track, if you will, for those in sports management.
Fantastic. If a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school, Dr. Lowenstein, is there a good phone number to call or a website to visit to learn more about the MBA program or about...
Go to the Coastal Carolina website, the www.coastal.edu, and you click on the Wall College. There's a website on the MBA program and our other programs.
Of course, Dr. Staney yesterday had also mentioned a great point, the Wall Fellows, a program, the Wall Fellows. What's that all about?
Very innovative program, very attractive program. The Wall Fellows program is an honors leadership development program that really is our best and brightest students, and they go through an interview process that is probably as tough, if not more so, than a corporation would give a manager and hiring a manager. These students are very motivated. They go out and they spend the better part of a year in an internship with a major corporation. We have students placed with Citicorp, Latin America, Citicorp in other parts of the United States, Rolls-Royce. Has come in very strongly with us, developing relationships. Their jet engine facility in the United States. We place with Deloitte in the Touche in New York, with lots of major corporations, and overseas. We've had them intern in Germany with Bayer, with other companies. And these students are tremendous. And we just had our Wall Fellows induction dinner. We had a few of the alumni back. One of the alumni, for example, who graduated in 1999 is already a senior manager in Touche in New York.
Right.
And she's coming back and wants to join our board of visitors. So, those are good success stories, because they come back and they give back to the Wall School for the next generation of students.
You talked about, of course, your history in banking and obviously being with major financial institutions. I'm sure a lot of viewers want to know, how do you become the dean of a major college of business administration? I mean, you talked a little about your history, but for viewers who may not understand.
I started off my career in getting a PhD and teaching in a university and just working my way up with that. Now, I went back and forth between private industry and government and the university systems. And
is that common, by the way?
It is becoming more common. The old way that people became deans were they worked their way up from department chair and they pretty much stayed in academia. But again, the world of business and business education has changed so much now, as well as in academic administration generally, that the universities really need to have deans who understand corporate protocol, they understand government protocol, and they have the contacts, because a lot of what we do as deans are fundraising and developing relationships. So probably over 75% of my time is working with the local business community and business communities around the world, as well as accreditation work, developing relationships to help open up internships with the Wall Fellows, or we have endowed professorships that we've given. We just recently had an award of a professorship from a local AVX corporation.
I saw that in the Herald last week.
Those are essential for us these days to attract and retain the best faculty, because there's a shortage of PhD faculty in the world. So when we go out to get the faculty for the Wall College, we're in competition not just with every business school in the United States and Canada, but also around the world. It is a tremendously competitive market right now. There's about 2,000 more openings for business PhDs than there are business PhDs.
Why is there such a shortage?
Well, it's a shortage because there's a few doctoral programs in the 80s and the 90s, when there were a lot of constraints in higher education. A lot of doctoral programs shrank or shut down. A lot of people found that they were able to go into very lucrative private business without the need for a PhD.
Right.
And then the other aspect was that certain industries decided that they needed PhDs in economics and finance and accounting.
Yeah.
And so we are in competition with the accounting industry, the financial services industry, and the like for that talent, for private business for that talent, as well as government.
You see the rosters oftentimes of, as you say, major corporations, and see a PhD next to many of the folks' names. You think of a company like Google, and you look down on their executive committee and executive board, and you'll see a lot of PhDs. I'm sure they probably picked up some old professors there at Stanford.
It's not uncommon. And a lot of the people in the Silicon Valley, as you speak of, are people who are entrepreneurs. They were professors at Stanford. They came up with an idea, started their own company, and it became so lucrative they left higher education and they're in their company.
Yes, yeah. That idea of going back and forth sure sets the stage for students to have that practical, real world, not to take anything away from folks that have been on a campus for 20, 30, 40 years. But that idea of going back and forth a good bit is particularly important. And universities are supportive of that?
Yeah, very much. And that is actually good for the student, because it keeps the edge on what is going on. You had a prior guest last week from our computer science. The average life cycle of computer technology today is 18 months. So we cannot be teaching somebody based on a technology that existed even 2 years ago. One of the challenges we have in all of higher education, not just the business college, is keeping up the funding to keep the edge on that technology. We have computer labs, and it is expensive to retool those computer labs every 2 years with either new software or new hardware. But that is what we need to do in order to prepare students to be in this world.
Let's lay out the next 5 years. We've just got a couple of minutes, Dr. Lowenstein. The next 5 years for the Wall College of Business Administration, maybe even the next 10 years. Just your site, if you can give just a...
Well, on the student side, we're anticipating a very high level of growth. As Coastal grows, we're growing at a faster rate. We've been very fortunate, and President DeCenzo has been able to get some agreement with the legislature to add lines to the university as a whole. A number of those in the coming years are going to be for business faculty, so that we can expand the number of sections, the number of courses, add some more majors, some more sub-majors, as we talked about earlier. And we will be doing more international outreach. I anticipate the day where actually it'll be full cycle. For as many viewers who got their college degrees a long time ago, foreign language was a requirement, and I can see that coming back just as we go more and more international. Our students need to be prepared, if they're going to work in Germany, to understand some German conversationally, or French if they're France, and so forth. So I see us transforming that. I see us having more faculty exchanges. We have had some this year with our partner in Mainz, Fachschule Mainz. We had 2 faculty. We have a faculty visiting this semester. I see some of our faculty doing that. And the college will grow and be more visible, and we will hope that we will be getting even more private support to make that a reality.
You talked about a lot of your time, obviously, needing to be out on the road, talking to folks about supporting the university in a different way. Public funds as a public university, but obviously private dollars can come in to help endow chairs or otherwise. How do you determine companies? How do you determine who to go out and see? Or is there a broad support for universities?
Well, we have a board of visitors that has about 50 members on it, who themselves and their companies or former companies are very supportive. And they also have individuals that they know or have worked with, or companies that they work with. So that's become, in my short time here, the main conduit for which we've made contacts. Our University Advancement Department is also working with individuals, with alumni. And then there are people who, they retired to Myrtle Beach, and they're bored playing golf all day or looking at the ocean. And it's not uncommon that I have an executive come into my office and he says, "Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm the former president and CEO of this corporation in New York. How can I help?" And that's just a wonderful experience to have.
That hasn't happened.
It happened a couple of weeks ago. Actually, executive vice president for a major securities firm. And that individual we're talking to about joining the board of visitors. So,
tremendous.
You know, we have a tremendous talent here on the Grand Strand of individuals who have retired or moved down to the Grand Strand. They like living here, and they've moved out of New York, New Jersey, other places, and they have tremendous contacts, and they've been very, very helpful.
Those are good words, and as you highlight the Grand Strand, obviously with Coastal being located in Conway or part of Conway, when you think about from Pawleys all the way up to Little River, there are lots of communities to get into. But of course the impact even on the PD in southeastern North Carolina, with Coastal having and expanding their, growing the MBA program, expanding the entire Wall College of Business, will have an impact on a very large area, even back to where your descendants arrived in the Port of Wilmington.
Well, I think there's a new dynamic going on in the way people gift to universities. There are a lot of people now who are looking for universities like Coastal who have no connection with them other than they feel that their dollars can make a difference. They may have been a graduate of, say, Harvard, who has a $40, $50 billion endowment, and they know that giving a fairly, what we consider a large gift will be thank you very much, but it's lost in the sea of billions of dollars, where here it can make a big difference to a lot of students. And basically, when you're a public institution, the state of South Carolina does a good job of giving us the basics that we need to be a good college of business. But to get that extra edge for the Wall Fellows program, for these very, very excellent programs that help our students and give them an edge on the market, we really need the private support to do that, and people have been very generous, and we hope they continue to be generous, and in return we will continue to produce a very high quality product, a very high quality graduate that we hope will come back and reinvest in the Grand Strand and the state.
Those are great words. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Dr. Lowenstein. Sorry we've run out of time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina people with Dr. Henry Lowenstein, the Dean of the Wall College of Business Administration. Coming up next. You may not have thought of Coastal Carolina University as the university of choice for sports careers in the Carolinas, but you heard it this morning. You may not have known that almost a third, 32% of the students on campus here at Coastal Carolina University are part of the Wall College of Business Administration. You heard it this morning. There's probably other things you want to know. Go online to coastal.edu. That's www.coastal.edu, where you can pick up the phone, 843-349-2026. That's 349-2026. Opportunity to learn more. We didn't even get to talk to Dr. Lowenstein about his experiences in the Ford administration, working with former President Gerald Ford. Obviously, his opportunities getting online, talking about the Federal Reserve and breaking down LIBOR and basis points and otherwise, just breaking down the particulars, or even his tremendous family, his wife that's moved here and his girls back in California. You can learn more about him. Go online to www.coastal.edu.